So let's go on crude oil. So again, crude oil, obviously we have our gamma levels on crude oil. So here what we have our two indicators, we have our blind spots and we have our crude oil. So as you can see today, so first we have a big break of the 1-day max, and then we go all the way up to the core resistance. But then there is a lot of like congestion here. So imagine that you didn't have these levels here. What would you do? So if you were like, trading crude oil here, what would you do? Like, would you think it's gonna stop? It's gonna continue? But what if we add blind spots? You have a clearer picture coming from assets that are correlated. So we're talking about ETFs that are in the commodity space, companies that are in the commodity space. So you clearly have a congestion of levels all throughout together. So within this range, within this 20 points range here. And as we can see, that area was well respected. We saw a big pop after the 1-day max was broken, a big congestion, and then now we are bouncing back here on the JAX2, and let's see what happens in the next few hours and tomorrow. But that is also like the same principle. So we added blind spots, we added our gamma levels. Again, without that, what could you have done? How could you have see if the trend was ending? What would have been your point, right? So clearly, right here, big rejection of that level.
Yeah, and something what I can add to this, Fabio, is people speaking about very often, hey, there are so many levels on my chart, this confused me. And when I know why is blind spot 3 and 5, and what is the difference between the blind spot levels, what impact have the blind spot levels, and I can tell you something. So if you've been new on MenthorQ, don't look in the blind spots number. Look always what is in the play. Don't ask too much, hey, why is now blind spot 5? Why we see now the shift on blind spot 5? Blind spot 5 have not so much overlappings compared to blind spots 1. That's right. But it's always important to see what levels are in the play. And this was clearly to see that blind spot 5, blind spot 2, blind spot 3, call resistance, 1-day max, this was the area what was in the play. And this is the interesting area in the moment. So of course, if we're looking to the big picture, if we zoom out, we see many other levels. But this is not in our focus. For example, high vol UDT, GAX4, GAX3, all the other levels, they are not in our focus. In the moment, when we was hitting these areas, there's only these levels our focus. And this is something what you must understand. Look always to the levels where in the focus now, where in the play. And then you can react, you can observe, then you can see how this works, and maybe you can implementate this based on your A+ setup, based on your risk management, for profit taking, for open positions or something like this. But always looking into the levels where in the play.
Yeah, absolutely.